Welcome to the VarsityKansas.com Prep Football Preview. I'm Joanna Chadwick, and this is Tony Adame. And we are going to be breaking down this week's upcoming games, which what's awesome about this week is district play starts.
Yeah, and it's for 5A and 6A, the last time they're going to do it like this. And I think a lot of coaches are thinking they're going to miss it, but I think next year is going to be way better with the setup.
You know, as I look at it and as I kind of break it down a little bit, I don't see how this is bad at all. I know there are some coaches who want the district championship to say that they've won, but for me, everybody makes the playoffs. You go 8-game regular season, the 9th game is the playoffs, just like it is for basketball, where you play 20 and the 21st game is. Everybody makes the postseason, and then you seed it. The seeding is the best part of this. I think that we're going to see the best teams advance instead of seeing a couple of the really good teams still sitting at home.
To me, the home games for the teams that have had the better seasons, they get the higher seeds are going to be great because you saw a lot of, a team that's got one loss traveling to a team with 3 losses, say in the semifinals, and that always seemed, unfair to me. And this way, rewards those teams that have had a better regular season.
And then let's just get selfish for a moment. To me, the best part of this is that we have seen the teams now setting their own schedules. We're going to see some new teams. Olathe North is coming down to play Heights. St. James is going to be playing Capon. We're going to see Bishop Carroll play Salina South and Derby. And find me a better game. If you could pick any game, that to me is the one that if we had a dream, that's the game we would pick.
2 best fan bases in the state for high school football. Get to play each other finally. Get to, meet up. The tailgate's going to be amazing. Bigger venue maybe.
I mean, Cessna Stadium, you think we need to does that need to happen?
I think they could get probably, 10, 15,000 people in there, which would be, about what Butler Blinn did, 7 or 8 years ago when they played, when they had all the great, fans, great promotion. If you promote this thing, get it out there, it could really, really blow up.
Because what this game is it's more than just Bishop Carroll and Derby fans. It's many more football fans that just want to see that game.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about district play, too. And there are some districts that just are really tough and other ones that are a little bit iffy. One of the iffy ones is East and North. That's our first game of the week. And they're both winless. And on the other side of their, the other game in their district is Southeast, which is also winless, and Junction City, which is 6-0. So, not the greatest.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why they're going to this new format is to kind of do away with these district championships for a team maybe that's got 1 or 2 wins. It's not, legitimate, and it's something that, they knew they needed to fix, and this is a perfect example.
And props to the ADs and the coaches for taking care of that. All right, and looking at a game that I'm really excited about is Topeka Hayden at Andover Central. They're ranked 4th and 5th in Class 4A Division I, both 5-1. Andover Central, though, has lost a high-profile athlete in Thomas Graham, who was their leading tackler. He was averaging double-digit tackles every game, and so I think that that's going to hurt them. However, there's also the mentality that every football team has to have this time of year. It's got to be next man up.
Yeah, and with Andover Central, it's a team we've talked about on this video quite a bit. Wondering all season long if they're a legitimate state title contender, and now we get to really find out. And we also wonder if maybe that one loss to May South without their quarterback Peyton Huslick is a bit of an anomaly, but we're going to start finding out pretty quickly.
All right, moving on to Trinity at Andale. Trinity Academy comes away with an incredible win last week over Conway Springs, the first time that they've beaten Conway Springs in their program history. They are primed to get to the playoffs for the first time. However, they've had that opportunity in the past, and you come off that big win against Conway, and now you're looking at beating Andale. That's going to be a tough thing to do.
Yeah, it's not like you get to enjoy that huge step forward for your program because you have so much more to play for in the next week. And, traditionally those are teams they haven't been able to beat, but maybe this is the year. They have so many more different weapons in the past. Maybe they're just one player, maybe a Burns brother, but now you see they have a lot of different ways to beat you.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. I was truly impressed defensively, offensively with what they could do with different players. If they can get past Andale healthy, I mean, they've got legit shots here at beating Haven and Clearwater. I think that they can do it, but I've also thought so in the past. All right, Northwest at Dodge City. Northwest played Wichita South for the City League title in a game that took about 48 hours because it was lightning delayed after the first quarter on Thursday night. It resumed on Saturday. And, it's the first City League title since 2005. They've now got to travel to Dodge City in an incredibly tough district. Dodge is 4-2. You have Garden City, which is 6-0, ranked in my top 10. And you also have Hutchinson, which is 5-1, with their only loss to Derby.
Old school 90s district with Northwest Dodge and Garden City and Hutch. But, big question for Northwest. Dodge City is a very tough place to play, especially toward the end of the year when they got a good team. Are they going to have Kevin Folsom, their quarterback, who hurt his knee against South and actually played Thursday, didn't play Saturday? So a few question marks for them, but they are a next man up team too.
Well, and you look at the losses that Dodge took. Wichita West is one of them, and Northwest pretty much rolled west. All right, Valley Center at May South, and Valley Center, that's a team, of course, we've talked about before. They've had their 3-3. May South is a team that has lived by its defense, I would say, since the beginning of the program. And they've given up 173 points this year, but it's been a situation where they have a big playability offensively, so they've kind of married their three components: their offense, their defense, and their special teams, trying to make up for what is a very young defense.
Yeah, 10 new starters this year for May South on defense, and a lot of the games are turning into shootouts. But they know that, and Brent Pfeiffer's a good enough coach to adapt. And as you were telling me earlier, they want to turn those 5 or 6 play scoring drives, which with Corey Frausto you can do, into 10 or 12 play scoring drives.
Which I thought was fascinating. When he said that, it's like, well, that makes complete sense. Let's keep the defense off the field, not put so much pressure on them, because otherwise you're churning them out. You're constantly saying, okay, now go out there and stop them. We'll score, but you go out there and stop them.
And Frausto's a good enough quarterback that you can give him instructions like that, and he knows how to make that offense work like that.
South and West, and this is a district that I think is probably a little tougher than we expected. South is sitting at 4-2, West 3-3. And Derby and Campus are also in this district. Obviously, Derby is a heavy favorite. But to get that second spot, Southwest Campus,
every team in the district has something they do really well. South has a great defense. We thought they had a really good quarterback. He struggled. Alan Bishop has struggled lately. Campus has Colby Leeper, who's one of the better quarterbacks in the state, turning out. Derby, obviously, is an overall well-rounded team. So it's, there's no easy outs in that district.
No, I agree. And looking at Ulysses at Mulvane, that's another team. We've talked about Mulvane. Ulysses with Ian Rudzik, and he's someone that I've been watching through his whole career. He just continues to put up crazy numbers. But they took a loss last week, got shut out by Scott City, who is a very good team, ranked in 3A. And yet I was surprised because they were able to hold down Ian Rudzik. So I think that bodes well for Mulvane and quarterback Jaden Price.
Going back to my days at the Garden City Telegram, the Rudziks seem like they always have somebody in that football program at Ulysses. Going back to Kevin Rudzik about 10 years ago, then his father 20 years ago. So it's interesting to see that bloodline go through those Western Kansas towns and keep those football programs afloat.
I like that. Okay, and finally, Conway Springs at Cheney. Conway Springs is coming off that big loss to Trinity Academy. They have also lost to Garden Plain. They're playing Cheney. This is a gimme game. I'm not really sure. Cheney always seems to be right there. And Conway, really, you got to get a win in this game.
Yeah, Cheney's got so many seniors, though, and, with Corey Brack out there, this is his first group that he's had for 4 years, and talking to them before the season, they were all so focused on being that team that gets over the hump, and this is the game right here. This is the one that'll kind of define your career.
All right, well, thanks so much for watching our weekly show, and we will see you next week.